The city of Metropolis gleamed beneath the stars, a jewel of steel and light. Superman floated above it, cape drifting, eyes scanning the streets below. Peace appeared to reign, but he knew better. Peace was always temporary. For weeks, a word had haunted him, Ember. It surfaced in graffiti, in whispered messages, in anonymous threats. He couldn't trace it, not yet. But his instincts told him it was coming. And soon. At the Daily Planet, Lois Lane sat at her desk, scowling at a burned envelope. Inside was a slip of paper, red ink burned into the fibers. The ember will rise. She called Clark Kent over. Clark shuffled awkwardly, glasses crooked, tie loose. Lois shoved the note at him. Creepy, huh? He frowned. Looks more like a warning. Perry White bellowed from his office. Lane. Kent. You're on Ember. I want facts. And I want them yesterday. Lois smirked at Clark. Guess we're partners again. Clark smiled faintly, hiding the tension in his chest. That night, Superman patrolled the docks. He heard chanting carried on the wind. He descended, silent as a shadow. On the pier, hooded figures circled a massive stone tablet. Red runes glowed across its cracked surface. Their leader raised his hands. Awaken the ember. The ground trembled. Superman landed with a thud. That's enough. They turned, hissing. One charged. Superman grabbed his wrist and recoiled. Fire pulsed beneath the man's skin, veins glowing like molten iron. His eyes burned red. The ember burns through us, he shrieked. A wave of flame exploded outward, throwing Superman back. His cape caught fire before he smothered it. The stone tablet split, light pouring from its core. Superman blasted it with freezing breath, sealing the fissures. The cult scattered into the night. Alone, Superman whispered, "What is the ember?" At dawn, Clark typed half-heartedly at his desk. Lois slammed a file down. Another sighting. South Side. Same fire powers. Jimmy Olsen burst in with photographs. They showed a man standing atop a skyscraper, flames spiraling around him. Lois's jaw dropped. That's Elias Vera. He vanished months ago. Clark stiffened behind his glasses. Superman confronted Elias that night on a rooftop. Elias Vera, he called. Elias smiled, fire dancing in his palms. I am no longer Elias. I am the Ember's voice. You're endangering lives, Superman said. Elias's voice thundered. I am saving them. Fire purifies. He unleashed a storm of flames. Superman shielded himself, teeth clenched. He lunged, grabbing Elias by the arm. Fire scorched his suit, burning into his skin. Elias sneered. You can't hold fire, alien. With a surge, he hurled Superman into a billboard. By the time Superman rose, Elias was gone. In the Fortress of Solitude, Superman sought answers. Jor-El's hologram flickered to life. The Ember, Jor-El said gravely, is no myth. It is a fragment of Krypton's dying sun, Ra. Superman froze. Long ago, priests tried to harness it. It gave power, but twisted minds. Krypton suffered greatly. Superman's chest tightened. Now it's here. On Earth. Beware fanaticism, Kal-El, Jor-El warned. It burns brighter than fire. Days passed. The Ember cult spread through Metropolis like wildfire. Fires erupted in neighborhoods. Symbols burned into streets. Innocent citizens disappeared, taken for indoctrination. Superman battled endlessly. But the cult grew stronger. Lois pieced the story together in the planet's newsroom. "They're recruiting," she muttered. Clark adjusted his glasses. "And they're gaining momentum." Perry yelled, "Find the leader. This city needs answers." Lois worked late into the night. Clark watched her, admiring her fire, her fearlessness. Without Lois, the city would be blind. Without Superman, it would be ashes. At City Hall, the cult struck boldly. Fire cascaded through the marble steps. Officials fled in terror. Superman arrived, smashing through flames. "Enough," he thundered. Elias appeared, standing amidst the fire like a god. "You cannot stop rebirth," Elias roared. Their battle tore through City Hall's pillars. Heat vision clashed with firestorms. Steam and smoke choked the air. Superman hurled Elias into a wall. But Elias rose laughing. "You can't extinguish destiny." Fire engulfed him, lifting him skyward. Superman chased. But Elias vanished into the clouds. That night, Metropolis trembled. Citizens whispered Elias's name like a prophet. The Ember had become more than fire, it was faith. Superman stood on the rooftop, cape flapping. He had faced monsters, aliens, gods. But zealotry was harder. At the Daily Planet, Lois confronted Clark. "You keep vanishing," she snapped. Clark stammered. I. She crossed her arms. "One day, Kent, you run out of excuses." Perry interrupted with a roar. "Big rally in Centennial Park. Get down there now." That evening, thousands gathered, torches blazing. Elias stood atop the monument, fire swirling like a crown. "Tonight," he bellowed, "Metropolis burns. From ashes, rebirth." Superman descended, voice thundering. "No one burns tonight." The crowd turned, eyes glowing red, hands crackling with fire. Superman's chest clenched. Innocents twisted into weapons. He couldn't hurt them. He had to save them. Elias unleashed a cyclone of fire. Superman countered with freezing breath. Steam filled the park. The battle was chaos, fire against frost. Elias laughed, "You can't fight forever." Superman's eyes glowed red. "I don't need forever. Just enough to stop you." Heat vision clashed with firestorms, explosions shaking the park. Torches extinguished, monuments cracked. Superman surged forward, fists blazing with determination. He struck Elias's chest. The ember fragment embedded within him shattered. Elias screamed, flames dying. The crowd blinked, confusion sweeping over them. Superman caught Elias as he collapsed. "It's over," Superman whispered. Police rushed in, securing the cultists. Elias was taken into custody, powerless, broken. The city exhaled. For the first time in weeks, the fires went dark. Days later, Metropolis began to heal. Families reunited. Scars were soothed, though not forgotten. Lois published her masterpiece, the ember that failed. Perry held the paper proudly. Lane, Kent, you gave this city truth. Lois smiled. Sometimes truth beats fire. Clark smiled faintly, hiding his relief. In the fortress, Superman locked the ember shut in lead casing. He stared at it long and hard. Jor-El's voice echoed, "Fire can warm. Or it can consume. The choice lies in those who wield it." Superman clenched his fists. He vowed never to let Earth face Krypton's fate. Weeks passed. But whispers still lingered. Survivors of the cult spoke of embers that never die. Superman patrolled nightly, listening, watching. One evening, he spotted strange fires in Gotham. His heart sank. The ember's shadow had spread. He sought toward it, ready for another battle. Lois, meanwhile, followed her own trail of clues. She uncovered bank records tied to Ember donations. Names of powerful businessmen appeared. Ember wasn't just a cult, it was funded. Clark read the article draft, his stomach heavy. "Lois, this isn't over." She smirked. "With you around, it never really is." Across the globe, sparks ignited. Cult cells rose in secret, chanting in shadows. Superman raced tirelessly to contain them. In Paris, he doused cathedral fires. In Cairo, he stopped an Ember assassin. In Tokyo, he saved a train from cult sabotage. But with each victory, new cells emerged. The Ember wasn't an enemy, it was an idea. And ideas don't die easily. At night, Clark sat with Lois on their balcony. She leaned on his shoulder. "You can't be everywhere at once," she said gently. "I have to try," Clark replied. She smiled softly. "Then I'll keep writing. We'll fight this together." He looked at her, grateful beyond words. She was his anchor, his flame that never consumed. Days turned into weeks. Superman's legend grew. The Ember's whispers softened but never vanished. Elias sat in a high-security prison, muttering endlessly. "The Ember rises, the Ember rises," guards shook their heads. But deep beneath the prison, faint red cracks glowed in the walls. Elsewhere, scientists examined Ember fragments. Some believed they could be weaponized. Governments debated using them for energy. Superman warned them. But politics rarely listened. He patrolled more fiercely than ever. He could stop bullets. He could stop bombs. But could he stop humanity's thirst for fire? Lois continued exposing corruption. Perry gave her front pages again and again. Jimmy followed, camera ready, braver each day. Together, they were as much a team as Superman himself. One night, Superman heard something new. Not fire. Not chanting. A different voice, whispering through static radio waves. "The Ember is not finished." He froze mid-flight, scanning frequencies. The voice repeated, "The flame will consume the false sun." Superman's jaw tightened. They were coming for him directly now. The next attack was no cult gathering. It was an ambush. A trap laced with ember fragments. Superman entered cautiously. But the ground erupted. Dozens of cultists emerged, powered by new shards. Their flames were hotter, brighter, more dangerous. Superman fought fiercely. But each strike burned deeper. His suit scorched, his skin blistered. Still, he fought on. Lois tracked the battle via police scanners. She arrived on the scene, notebook in hand. "Clark," she whispered, knowing he could hear. "Don't give in. You're stronger than fire." Superman pushed harder, fueled by her voice. He froze shards with breath, shattered them with fists. One by one, cultists fell. But the leader remained, a woman this time. Her name was Celine, the second voice. She wielded a staff burning with ember fire. She struck Superman across the chest, flames searing his emblem. He staggered but refused to fall. "This world will burn," Celine hissed. Superman roared, smashing the staff with one blow. Flames erupted skyward. But he absorbed the blast, shooting civilians. Celine collapsed, defeated. Lois rushed forward, hugging him tightly despite the heat. "You did it," she whispered. Superman's voice was tired. For now. Weeks later, the world settled again. Ember cells scattered, leaderless, weakened. But Superman never forgot the crackling sound of flames, nor the whispers that lingered in the dark. Lois continued to write, her words a shield for truth. Perry declared the planet the last fortress of honesty. Jimmy's photos became symbols of resilience. And Superman? He became more vigilant than ever. For he knew, ideas never die. They wait. They smolder. They burn in silence. Until one day, they rise again. On a quiet night, Superman stood on a rooftop, gazing at the city. Metropolis glittered peacefully. But in his heart, he felt the faintest heat. A reminder that embers, no matter how faint, can reignite. He whispered into the wind, "As long as I live, this city won't burn." And with that vow, he soared into the night sky. His cape cut across the stars, a streak of hope against the darkness. Because Superman was more than a man. He was the promise that no fire, no matter how fierce, would ever consume the world.